Let's start. Ma'am, shall we start?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, Darshana, please.
Good afternoon, one and all present over here today. On behalf of English Department, I welcome you all for a student-led national webinar on importance of English for employability skills. Now, I request our principal ma'am to give a welcome address. Over to you, ma'am, now.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the student-led national webinar on importance of English for employability skills organized by the Department of English of Srimati P. N. Doshi Women's College, Mumbai. The ability to express fluently in both written as well as oral form in English language is very much essential for the career growth. English being the most commonly used language in the corporate world, we all are aware that the knowledge of English is one of the most important employability skills. Enhanced communication skills in English can result in a better job opportunities in the future. For job interviews to the actual professional world, communication skills are very crucial. And being proficient in English means being able to communicate clearly and effectively. Being proficient in that language can also leave a very good first impression, which means higher chances of getting the position one is applying for. Let me not take much of your time because we have a very distinguished person with us. I would like to welcome Mr. Subhajita Singha, who is the resource person for this session. I'm sure with his expertise, he will be able to help the participants understand how important English language is for employability and what are the skills needed to learn to speak English well. I would also like to welcome all the participants for joining us for this important webinar. I congratulate the Department of English for taking up such an important and relevant topic, importance of English for employability skills. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Ms. Vageshwari Gore, madam, to tell the audience about the concept of the webinar. Over to you, ma'am, now.
Good afternoon and welcome for today's national webinar on importance of English language for employability skills, organized by the Department of English of CNBC Women's College, Calcutta. English was introduced in India by the British. The need to learn and equip themselves with good English has become a criterion to get a lucrative job for their studies. Even after 75 years of our independence, the need for English has not decreased in the job market. Employability and competence are still determined by one's command over the language. English has been considered to be the first global lingua franca. In today's modern world, the English language has become part and parcel of every existing field. It has been an international language of communication, business, science, information technology, entertainment, and so on. Learning English will make one more employable to not just businesses in the UK and US, but also businesses across the world. Research by Cambridge English found that English is important for over 95% of employers, even in many countries where English is not an official language. By learning English, one can create a bright future where one can earn and work almost anywhere in the world. In today's webinar, Subhajit Singha, our resource person, will guide you about the opportunities of employability when you study English. You will also learn ways of effective communication, reading, listening, and speaking skills and their importance. With these words, I welcome you all for the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I request Ms. Dipali Singh to introduce the resource person, Mr. Subhajit Singha. Over to you, Dipali.
Good afternoon to one and all present. Mr. Subhajit Singha is an assistant professor of English and head of the Department of the English in Deshpran Mahavidyalaya affiliated to Vidyasagar University, Durmut Purba, Medinipur, West Bengal. Currently, sir is pursuing his PhD from Bankura University. He has completed MA and MPhil from Rabindra Bharati University. He has cleared UGC NET in 2012. His academic interest and research interest comprises post-colonial reading of the prose writing in 19th century, His doctoral research is on biopolitical studies of famine in text. His research interest favorably lies in the domain of historiography, post-colonial studies, theories and postmodern condition of our society. His co-curricular interests and hobbies are reading and analyzing literature, taking photo, etc. He has worked in non-profitable NGO College Street, Padakhe as an educational assistant to help in teaching the underprivileged children. Thank you so much. Over to you, Darshana.
Thank you, Dipali. Now I request today's resource person, Mr. Subhajit Singha, to begin with the session. And during the session, if you have any questions, kindly write it in the Zoom meeting or YouTube channel. Over to you, sir, now.
Am I audible? Can everyone hear me loud and clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, you are
Yes,
audible.
very clearly.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. First of all, it has been a kind of a very welcoming opportunity for me to be invited as a guest speaker to Srimati P.N. Doshi Women's College, Mumbai. And I sincerely thank Dr. Asha Menon, the principal of your college, as well as Dr. Vinod Zalte, whom we personally know each other for the last 2.5 years. So it was Vinod sir's initiative to get in touch with me and to take you to a kind of a boring lecture of 1 or maybe 1.5 hours of it. I will try to focus a few points about the employability skills, as well as how we can try to improve our societal skills to create a kind of an opportunity in future job market by learning English. Now, I am someone who usually teaches English literature in my college and in some of the universities in West Bengal. And preferably, I know this profession, which happens to be the teaching, both at school level, the college level, and as well as in the university level. I have seen these opportunities, or I have seen this, we can say that orientation job market here for the last 10 years or so. I'm in this profession. So I have seen this profession from close quarters. But now we are entering into a different world. Post-COVID, we can say that after 2020 and all that, the proliferation and as well as the we can say the increasing of so much online and virtual mode of education, we are somehow entering into a new domain, and entering here isn't very easy. Even for us, the teachers, we have found it very difficult to cope up with, or rather say to be habituated with all these kind of different platforms. We are hosting this meeting on Zoom, but at the very beginning, it was all about the Google Meet. And now these two softwares or these two platforms doesn't work quite distinctively similar. So we have to shift from one platform to another, and then we must learn them. And that was a challenge for at the beginning. But nowadays we have learned the bent and we can say the scratches of the business. And now we are moving towards a kind of a blended mode of education, where we will see that the physical classrooms as well as the virtual classrooms will interlap and will intermix with each other. Now, whether it will be considered as a help, or maybe it will pose further difficulties, that's time to tell. Okay, that's in future, that lies in future. So now it is going to stay, and this opens up this what we can say, this mushrooming of online portals and this mushrooming of this virtual mode of learning. This has opened up various other opportunities, and precisely I'm going to tell you about 2 or 3 such opportunities, which you may find it very convenient, which you may find it very even commercially convenient when after you complete your graduation from here, or even from your master's in English from universities, or maybe from this college. Now, first of all, I'm not carrying any PPT here. I'm not showing you any PowerPoint presentation here because first of all, I believe that when we look at the PowerPoint screens, we can just keep distracted from whatever the person is saying here. I'm not saying that I'm going to give you very valuable insights of that, because I have also gathered them from here and there from using the internet and all that. So here I'm just trying to get hold for you all those necessary informations that you can have from different sources that is available in internet domain. I'm not saying something very original, I'm not saying something very new to you, but yes, I'm sharing some of my experiences when I was a student or when I was learning the tricks and trades of learning English. And I think that will help you to some extent to unburden you for your future endeavor. And first of all, that I am not using an PPT and all that. And since if I'm lacking in any regard of conveying all these necessary messages to you, there has been a medical condition in my family, and one of my family members, she's actually surviving for very critical illness, and she's on a deathbed. She's my grandmother, but still, it's very unnerving for me to just keep all these things together and to be present in front of you, because I have already given word to Dr. Vinod sir, so I couldn't just back out. So if I just lack in a few information, or if I just if you find my presentation of whatever that I'm going to speak for next hour or so, if you find anything that is out of the way or something, that please try to forgive me, because it has been a very difficult situation for me in the present times. Okay, so let us begin whatever that I have to say to you, and whatever that questions that you have, you can post them, and we may discuss once I have finished. Now, as your Vageshwari madam was referring to it, that this language which we are conversing now, and yeah, pardon me, because my Hindi is not that good. Utni achhi nahi hai meri Hindi. So whenever that I cannot just move to another language when it becomes difficult to understand in English, because I have seen that the students who are getting logged in the meeting, there are from different departments. There are students from Hindi department, there are students from sociology and from other departments. So it might be difficult for them to, if we converse all these ideas and all these things into English. But the point is that this is the basic need. This is the basic need of the hour, that we should equip ourselves with all the ideas, with all the tools of English. Look here, that there are the three sections of learning a language. First is reading, then is writing, and then the third one, which is equally important, is listening. These are the three most important integral parts of whenever we are considering that we need to learn a language. Now, in most of the cases, whoever are present here, including me, English come to us as a second language. Okay, because in our homes, whenever I'm a Bengali, so what I have learned from my mother, what I have learned from my father, was the first at the Bengali language, with the help of the Bengali alphabets. Now, most of you are from Maharashtra, so most of you have learned Marathi, okay, in your school and in your homes. So the English come to us as an acquired language. That means we have to acquire knowledge to be equipped with English. English isn't the condition into which we have been grown up. Now, that becomes the problem when we, in later years, we try to kind of represent us, or rather say we want to express ourselves in English. That becomes quite a difficult. And why that becomes so difficult? First of all, any case of this acquired knowledge, whichever that we have learned not from within from our families, or rather these kind of knowledges, they have been inferred through us through a education system. And that with my we can see that your Marathi or my Bengali, we have learned it in the natural way, and the English, we have learned it in our classroom, inside an instructed environment, inside an environment which is not governed by us. And that is something that keeps us haunting till the end of our lives. We always think that this language, which comes as a second language, we may not be ever be able to express ourselves better in that language. But this is not the case. And this is where teachers like us, or departments like our English departments, from your college, from my college, from any college, it's that in India, the English teachers, they come into play, and they must tell you that there is nothing to be afraid of. First of all, the way we speak English, it's entirely different from the way the British speaks English, or maybe the American speaks English. If you see, during the cricket matches, the commentators, they are from different countries. And if you observe, or if you listen, I have told you that listening is also a very integral part of learning a language. If you listen to their pronunciation, if you listen how they are speaking their English, you will find that people from Caribbean, that means people from West Indies, they are speaking English in a different kind of a tone. If you listen to someone like if you listen to commentaries, someone like Ian Bishop, okay, he speaks like it is an interesting match. Now, this is not the way the Australians say. Someone like Mark Taylor is commentating. So there you will find that Mark Taylor's English, speaking English, of course, that is entirely different from Ian Bishop. And now, if we move to David Lloyd, who happens to be an English commentator, there we'll find that his English is crisp, more, or we can say that more closer to the Queen's English, or maybe King's English, and that is what to be considered as the better English, the Oxonian accent. Okay. Now, this accent doesn't guarantee that you have a good command over the language. Never fall for that trap. Sunil Gavaskar also speaks immaculately good English, but he speaks in an Indianized, accented version. But that doesn't mean that Sunil Gavaskar knows less English than David Lloyd or maybe Mark Taylor. No, it's not. It is never like that. We just fall for the trap of that smooth talking or the smooth tongues of English speaking people. That smooth tongue comes as an inheritance. That smooth tongue, even they are forced to speak Marathi, or even they are forced to speak Bengali, they will even fumble. Even after years of training, even after years of learning, if they are given the task of speaking a fluent Marathi or fluent Bengali, they will also fumble. Because it's for them, it will also be an acquired language. A language kind of also part and parcel of the environment too, the cultural environment of that place. So however better we try, we are Indians, and our Indianized English will always remain accentually different from British or from Australians, okay, or maybe from Americans. And we should never try to follow their lead. We should never try to imitate how David Lloyd is speaking English. No, never. Our English is more akin to Sunil Gavaskar's English, or maybe Ravi Shastri's version of English, because that is how that far our smoothness in that language goes to. Always remember, learning the language, the trick of learning the language lies in how good is your vocabulary. That means whenever you are trying to speak something, the most problem that we face during a conversation with English, you have find it too, that after saying 2 or 3 sentences, we just keep searching for words. What will be there? I just wanted to say, let me say that in Hindi, in my very poor Hindi, that मुझे कहना है कि मुझे आज किसी दोस्त के साथ कॉलेज जाना है, लेकिन क्योंकि बारिश बहुत ज्यादा हो रही है. But the point is that in Hindi or even in Marathi, that comes very easily to my tongue. But if I want to say it in English, I say, there are a few words that I don't know exactly what is called in English. Barish ho rahi hai, I'm going to say? It is raining. It is raining hard. It is raining much. It is raining profusely. Don't. This is the thing that whenever we try to express ourselves in English, we find it difficult. We always try to, because our thoughts that comes in our mind, even it may sound very peculiar, it may sound very strange, but even our thoughts have a distinct language. That means whenever we are thinking in a language. That means in a natural way, we may say that our thoughts come as first in our native languages. That means when I think about something, I think in Bengali first. And then when I'm trying to converse or trying to express it to the person sitting in front of me, I try to think that should I be saying in Bengali, but this person doesn't understand Bengali, or for your case, Marathi. Then I must translate it into English, and there lies the problem. Not that every single sentence in Bengali and Marathi can ably be translated into English. That cannot be done. So what should we do? We should do what we call that this is not translation. This is not the literal translation. That means word by word translation of from Bengali or Marathi to English. It's not that. It's something that we call a transcreation. That means I am taking the gist of the sentence. That means the meaning of the sentence, and I am translating the meaning into English. I'm not translating the exact Marathi or Bengali words into English. I am taking the meaning of the sentence in my native language, and now you try to translate it into English. That means the sentence I was referring to, that I must go to college with you today because it is raining, or it is pouring down very hard. Now the thing is that this sentence is a very easy one. This kind of a sentence is very easy to understand. But remember one thing: during our daily conversation, it will always help you if you always try to mix and match with the languages. That means whenever you are, as your friends, you are going to college by using a local train or maybe other transport, say a state bus or something like that. You're taking public transport and coming into college. Two of your friends, you are traveling together. You always travel together. Maybe three of you travel together. Try to make an environment where you can speak in English, even among you. Yeah, it's not very easy, because say you are going back to your home and you are meeting your friends over your locality, your own area. And if you try, after a hard days of school or maybe a difficult day at college, okay, and you are trying to, even for the working professional, even a very difficult day in office, and now you are now you are coming into your locality and you are in a very relaxed mood, and now you want to speak with your friends in English. They will say that wait, रहने दे, चल अपना जो लैंग्वेज है उसमें जाते हैं, हिंदी या मराठी में बात करते हैं, नहीं कहना इंग्लिश में. Now that is the thing that will always drag you behind when you want to learn something. Now, speaking English won't always be taught inside the classroom where you can get yourself enrolled for, say, a spoken English class. That's only maybe 1 hour, maybe 2 hours, once a week, twice a week, thrice a week. But 1 hour of just sitting in front of a teacher, maybe someone like us, and they are trying to tell you that this word is pronounced like that way, this word is pronounced like that way, listen to this, okay, watch that film, watch that movie. No, they won't help you the way you want it. Because after your graduation is done, now you want to be employable. Now, there lies the problem. According to an UNICEF report, which was published in 2018, they say that it's very good to say that 50 or maybe 56% of the workforce that is available in India, that is under 30. That means most of the workforce is young. That means who can be employable. Who can be employable in any service, that age is very young. 56% of that employable age is under 30. And after that, 20% is just over 30, within 35 and all that. So this kind of young generation, those kind of young people like you, they have attained the age of employability. But can they be employed? That remains the question. The same question that we face when we sit for an interview to select maybe the students for our college, or maybe select for the students for any educational program, any academic program, any academic course, when we sit and when we try to talk to them. The point is that their nervousness first comes into play. And there are also there are so many YouTube videos on this. Probably if you are familiar with these Ashish Chanchlani or maybe Bhuvan Bam, who creates those YouTube videos on various social issues and all that. Some of them also create this, maybe not two of these, maybe someone else. There was a very touching video of someone that he's an engineer. He has completed his engineering degree with good percentage of marks. Now he wants to get a job. He goes for the interview, and the interviewer says that you know nothing. And he said that the guy who went there and who wanted that job, he said, "How can you say that I don't know nothing, that I don't know anything?" And the interviewer said, "You can't even speak a single sentence in English. You can't even phrase a single sentence in English. Whatever I have asked you, and you have failed to answer that question in English. So how can you be employed?" And that person, that engineer, he just kind of gets infuriated. Okay, he became so angry that he vented out all the anger on the interviewer, and he said, he uses all those abusive words and that, and he said that, "Do you think that my compatibility, do you think that my knowledge or maybe my competence lies in the fact that I know or know not a simple language?" Now, it is very morally saying, it's very pleasing to say that yes, whether I know a certain language or whether I'm very proficient, I'm very eloquent in one language and I'm not, okay, that doesn't guarantee whether I'm intellectually proficient or not. Knowing a language can never be the parameter of your knowledge. Okay, a language can always make you competent. A language can always make you competent and always make you kind of we can say that employable, but it never guarantees your wisdom. It never guarantees your intellect. But the question is that this is an age, this is a time when your English competence is more needed than your engineering skills. That person was never offered the job. And we all know that if someone behaves with that, like that inside an interview board, he is not going to get the job there, and his reputation will take a tumble. No other company, no other good company will ever hire that person again. You may be speaking the truth. It might be true that whatever you are saying, that it's true. Okay, that because learning English or knowing English doesn't guarantee your intellect. But the question is that, brother, or maybe here, sisters, this is a time when we need to equip ourselves with a good command, with a good grasp over that language. How good was that? Just imagine one person back in 1893 Swami Vivekananda. He went to United States and he gave that famous his address during the Parliament of World Religion in 1893, 11 September it was. Such a glorious day for all the Indians. Just imagine one man from this part of our world, where we have always been ill-treated, where we have always been kind of maltreated by the British. Okay, they always have said that we are good for nothing. Okay, we cannot be learned anything, we cannot be taught anything. Okay, we are someone like the black, the Negro, we are called the blackies, we are called the natives, we are called the Kala Admis. Okay, and one person from the land of these Kala Admis, he went there and he spoke to them in their own language. And how well did he speak? We all know that. Our history is the recipient. Our history is the recipient of his bravery. Our history tells us about the achievement of that single monk's work, what he has done. Yeah, we know him as Swami Vivekananda. We know Swami Vivekananda as someone, as a religious preacher, as someone like we may say, Boto Mahapurush the. They're all right. They're all correct. But imagine what good command or what good grasp did he have on that language. And that was even, say, 100 and even 125 years back. It was 1893 we're talking about. And if we go and visit our history books, we will find in 1893 how many schools and colleges were in entire India. They were offering English as a subject. There were not many. There were not many. The first generations of English learners in India, how good their English was, how better they were in English, you will just laugh out loud. You may just fall from your chairs or maybe benches where you are sitting if you just read the accounts of how good their English was, the first generation of English learners. I can just share with you an anecdote. It's from a Bengali novel by Sunil Gangopadhyay. He is one of the very famous and foremost novelists in Bengali. Yeah, of course, he has died a year back, 2013, I guess. So, in one of his novels, Sunil Gangopadhyay tells us about the first generation of English learners, preferably because in British India, the capital of India was shifted into Calcutta. So, the most of the English learners from the various pockets and the parts of the country, they used to come to Calcutta to learn from their masters. And the masters were, of course, the speaking Englishmen. Okay. Now, such was the condition that these people, after doing a kind of a degree, after completing their degrees, there were not so many jobs available. So they wait. Where do they wait? They wait outside the burning ground. That means those crematoriums where according to our Hindu religious sects, where the dead bodies are being cremated, they wait outside the doors of the crematorium. And whenever some dead body comes there, and they very fervently ask that where does this person work? Okay, where did this person work? Okay, so that means there is a guarantee that there is a vacancy because this person has died. So there is a vacancy, or there is a vacancy of post in that post, in that office or something like that. So there, they are going to some, we can say that this will be the most authentic news of vacancy of posts. And from there on, from sitting there in that crematorium ground, they started writing applications, and their application that I'm not just using the exact phrases that they used to write in their applications, learning from the burning ground. Now, this is something that our forefathers, the first generation of English learners, that is their English. From there onward, just imagine, it was way back in, this novel tells us about the time of 1890s Bengal. And from there, after 120, 30 years, we have come across so many bridges. We have rather tried to emulate our fear. We have tried to emulate that even we can be responsible for understanding this language and all that. From the days of Swami Vivekananda, we have come this far. We have come this far that we are now talking about that how we can make ourselves better in this language, so that our employability skills may enhance, may increase, so that we may sell. That is the point, actually, that whenever inside the class, whenever you ask that, sir or ma'am, whatever you are teaching, is this going to feature in our end semester examination? What kind of a question can we expect to get from these topics? Beside these, we are fortunate that you never ask us, that you never ask even my students when I teach something like, say, a poem inside a class. They never, it's my fortunate that my students, they never ask me, sir, you are teaching this poem to us, sir, maybe you are teaching this novel to us. Can you tell me, sir, that how reading this poem or reading this novel may help us to get me a job? No. They don't ask, and we are fortunate that they never ask such questions, because employability is a very different issue. Learning something is a different issue, and employability is something different issue. And this is where such classes, I don't know how far I will be able to help you out here, but what I know that I am here to share my experiences with you. And first of all, I'm talking about, as I have mentioned just at the beginning of my
Hello, sir.
yeah. Hello. Hello. Anybody has a question?
Subhajit, continue. I think we will have a question and answer session at the end of your session.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So as I was saying that at the beginning of my lecture, I was telling you that this virtual platform, okay, this virtual mode of learning and all that, they have opened up new avenues, and how we can use those avenues by increasing our employability skills. First of all, see the traditional job market. Okay, that means after you are getting a degree, now you can go for the interviews in those places, in those offices. And how can you how do you know that there are jobs, there are vacancies now? The story I mentioned, that was way back, so we cannot guarantee the vacancies by that way. So how can we get ourselves informed about the vacancies now? Yeah, we must follow the newspapers. There are also such magazines. There are also such journals like Pratiyogita Darpan, okay, competition successor reviews and all that. They usually always feeds us with, even in our part of the world, there is a newspaper called Employment News. Okay, it only comes up with the advertisements of various companies as well as the different government jobs. Now we all know that government jobs are not that easy to get, one, and secondly, the government jobs, you need to prepare yourselves. Say after you have completed your masters, after you have completed your graduation, we all know that you can sit for the civil services exam. Be it the Indian Administrative Service, that means the civil service, that is a civil service for the entire country. And as in our state, there is a West Bengal Civil Service, we call it WBCS, as you might also have your separate civil service for your state, in your state. So there are those civil services exam that an English graduate, that an maybe the other graduates too, of course, the other graduates too, they can sit for those exams. But take one thing for guaranteed, take one thing for me sure, that you have to know your English grammar very well to fare better in those exams. Okay, because in most of the cases, those exams, the preliminary exams, and then there comes the mains exam, and then there's the interview. And in those preliminary exams, the first preliminary exam, there are some general papers. They come from general awareness, they come from general, that means GK and GI, general intelligence, and also English. And there you can only find the questions on English grammar. how proficient or how affluent you are in English grammar. That is the yardstick. That is the measurement of your your affluence in that, and how good you will be, or how better you will be at the cracking that exam. First, you have to crack that preliminary exams, and then you can move to the mains in civil services exam. And in mains, you may not opt for English, but to qualify for the mains part, you have to qualify the prelims, and your prelims is definitely going to feature the English. So better that maybe that you are not from an English honors background, maybe you are not taking up English as a degree subject in your UG level or undergraduate level or even on a master's level, but a certain level of proficiency is needed, a certain level of, we may say, competency while we are talking, listening, and reading in English, that is needed. Okay, now I was talking about all the other openings. Okay, and this is something very I would like to what we can say, that I would like to more telling you about that. You should pay a bit close attention to this part, because there you might find it very interesting while you are while you will be choosing very other kind of a different career options in your after you have completed your graduation or maybe your masters. Now the thing is that, first of all, after you have seen this, that Byju's, we have all now we all now are aware of what Byju's is. It's basically an online coaching platform. Okay, before 2020, maybe say 2018 and 19, we used to go to our physical coaching classes after our college hours or maybe school hours are done. We used to go to the coaching classes, and we used to take private tuitions from the tuition masters. But nowadays, after COVID, or maybe say post-COVID, as we were forced to stay indoors, as we were forced not to venture outside, these online teaching and online learning apps, they became so many profitable that nowadays you can imagine that Byju's is now sponsoring the Indian cricket team, who were usually sponsoring the Indian cricket team before that. Star Sports, even before that Pepsi, even before that maybe the companies like Sahara or something like that. They are multi-billionaire companies. PepsiCo is a multi-billionaire company worldwide. They were producing the Indian cricket team. And now just imagine, just an online coaching platform which was originated in our country, which is an entirely an Indian app, and how better they are featuring and how better they are making their markets more expandable, that now they are competing with such multinational brands. See, this is the power of education. This is the future that is awaiting for us. And if you have a good command over English, do you know that Byju's is offering you for their content developer? That means their teacher is going to take such classes like this one, and they can just make things, they can just explain things very better to you and all that. But you need modules. You need those pages where it is there whatever they are saying that has been written in a pages. Then you need modules, you need study materials, you need handouts, you need all the copies from where you will read after the class is done. Now, who is going to develop them? There comes the proficiency in English. As I have already mentioned you, that there might be that engineer, but that engineer doesn't know how to better communicate in English. That also is applicable here. There might be a person, there might be a very good math teacher, there might be a very good law professor, but the point is that he or she, that professor, he or she knows his or her subject very well. But the point is that he or she doesn't know or lacks that verbal proficiency with which he or she can complete, or he or she can create a study material out of it. Now, who is going to help them out? The content developers. And those content developers, Byju's are hiring them at good rate, even from the local and regional levels, because Even Byju's is not offering only classes in English and all that. There are students who will be coming from the rural sectors. Those students who are not very good in English, so they also need Marathi. They also, in my case, they also need the Bengali, maybe saying the help books. And who is going to provide them? Once again, the interns or maybe the academic helps. Okay, that I don't know whatever the post they are going to create or what is the name designation of those posts will be, but there definitely will be a large market available to this online developer. Even for us, the UGC have already sanctioned and UGC have already given us the opportunity for MOOC, MOOC, massive online open courses. Okay, and now those courses are entirely free. You can just get yourself enlisted in any MOOC and you can study. Okay, that means reading is free, studying is free. Okay, and if you want to get yourself a degree, so that will pay you a bit of money, not a lot of money, but that after you're studying, after your course is done for 6 months, say 1 year, maybe 2 years after your course is done, you need to sit for the exam. And there only, when you want to be awarded with a degree, then you need to pay. Otherwise, if you just want to learn, if you just want to study, there is no payment in MOOC. And these kind of employability skills, these kind of things are growing faster. And even UGC has accepted that, yes, in some cases, the MOOCs can replace the traditional way of teaching, the traditional way of learning. In fact, our teachers like us, some of the UGC have even acknowledged that if we just write or if we just compose an entire study material that can be available in MOOC as the things that the students who got enlisted there, they can use those study materials. And if we provide them, if we write an original, the teachers like us, teachers like present in your college, if they help, if they are somewhere commutable, if they are somewhere helping themselves by writing study materials for MOOC, even that helps their academic scores. Even that helps during their promotion and all that. So these are the things that are coming up. These are the new avenues that are coming up. And beside these online open courses and online open forums and all that, there are also things that we were not fortunate enough to looking at that from that perspective or something like that. Beside these, there are YouTube channels. Now, as I'm already saying you, that these are not traditional job market, because say how the market is expanding and how the market is getting virtual. Now say that Ola and Uber, they are also available in your city, they are also available in my city. But both the companies, be it Ola or be it Uber or all the maybe the other app-based car service, those apps do not own a single car. Ola doesn't have a car, Uber doesn't have a car. But what people are paying them for? People are paying them for taxis. People are paying them for cabs. There's the same thing is applicable to Swiggy and Zomato. Zomato and Swiggy doesn't own a restaurant anywhere in the world. But what do they offer to you? Foods. But they are not restaurants. They are not hotels. They are not some eateries, roadside eateries or something like that. But they are selling you foods. How can that be possible? That is cloud marketing we are talking about. That is the future of business we are talking about. There will be a time when there will be no need for physical classroom. There will be a time when the teacher and the student, maybe they are both sitting at their homes, okay, comfortably sitting in the AC, inside the AC, or maybe a very comfortable setting and all that. And the teacher will provide you with all the helps that you can. You have already heard about Google Classroom. Okay, that Google Classroom is very convenient during the pandemic, or maybe during the COVID times. It was very helpful. It somehow, yeah, we know that physical classroom is both needed. I'm not going into the debate of that, whether physical classroom was good and the virtual classroom or bad or something like that. I'm not going into the debate. That's a different issue. What I intend to say here is that the world is moving towards that. So technology and learning the English language, they both come hand in hand, and they both will help you to enable yourself to prepare yourselves for a kind of a challenging future and exciting future, both that lies ahead us. And there we may say that, like those Zomato or Swiggy, or maybe those, as I was mentioning, maybe Ola and Uber, all those apps, who can say that there will be apps available for schools, maybe classrooms, and teaching and selling your expertise will be very easy inside this open market. If you are creating an YouTube content, if you are creating an YouTube channel, just look for them. There are hundreds and thousands of YouTube channels who will give you spoken English tuitions, who will, and they are free. You are not going to pay them, just you are paying for your mobile data and all that, and you are getting all those YouTube contents for free. Yes, maybe sometimes in the future, YouTube will not provide you for them for free. Already you have seen that YouTube, whenever you open up YouTube say that, do you want to upgrade into YouTube Premium by paying this much and this much and that? Thing is that all the YouTubers, they are being paid after all those advertisement and all those promotions that are they done in the, or they do in their shows. And that is the future we are moving towards. If you have the skills, if you have the talent, then you can be your own employer. That is one point where our society or our present situation is moving towards. Yes, a country like us, India, it will take time. Of course, we say that the future we are looking about, say after Google Classroom, we have already heard about Google Classroom. We do not know about, till now, we do not know about augmented reality. Okay, that's a very different kind of a classroom that they have already introduced in United States and in some European countries, and they will also travel here. Yes, our country is a poor country. Our country, the people in our country, or maybe the students in our country, they do not come from a very affluent background. They are not so economically, we may say, stable background, but still, we are going towards that. Maybe 20 years down the line, maybe 30 years down the line, our education system is going to change, and it will change rather drastically. And that is what we may say, that during that time, we must be equipped with, we must be prepared with our language and preferably our English skills. Now, what can you do after your graduation and your master's if you are from, particularly speaking, if you are from a English, if you have a degree in English, that means you have done your major, or maybe your we call it English honors classes. We call them English honors graduate, and maybe you have a different kind of a name, English major graduate or something like that. So after you have completed your degree in English in undergraduate level, what kind of a job that you can look forward to? First of all, there are government jobs, and the government jobs, there are called the teaching professions. And for teaching professions, you know that you can teach in a school, or maybe you can teach in a college. For schools, you have to complete your B.Ed, Bachelor in Education degree, after your graduation or your master's. B.Ed can be done even after your graduation, or it can be done even you completed your master's. That will equip you for your kind of say that you can apply for the school jobs, school teaching jobs and all that. That is another segment. And if you want to teach in a college, if you want to teach in university, that will need to complete your master's with preferably 55% in your master's. And after that, you can sit for national eligibility test. After that, you can sit for your national eligibility test, or maybe you can sit for your state eligibility test. And after you crack the NET or SET, and then you can after you have completed your NET SET, then you can go for the you can go for the interview in colleges and universities, or maybe you can complete your PhDs, and then you can go for college teaching. That's a teaching profession. Now, if we move from the government sector to more, say, government jobs are not that easy to get. Government jobs are few. So in most of the cases, you would preferably try your luck in the private sectors. And what kind of private sectors are open for you? Okay, first of all, I'm not a very expert on this. Okay, but I can say that there are few options that you may choose from. I have already mentioned the alternative options. That means a content developer for such kind of educational app-based education. You can also develop contents for YouTube and all that. And imagine, is one thing I can tell you: if you have the talent, if you have the skill that you can sell, for a living, not sell like you are selling a piece of sweet, or maybe you are selling bara pav or something. It's not that. That means you are selling your skill, you are selling your talent to earn your money. If you have that, my dear students, there is no way of stopping you. There are innumerous ways available now. Just imagine the phone that you are using in front of you, the phone, the Android set, or maybe or the other sets that other smartphones that you are carrying in your pockets, maybe in your bags and all that. They are not only tools for using WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram. They can be used for far better things, far enhancing things, and you can use them to make yourselves betterly equipped. You can use them to make yourself betterly employable. As I have already told you that the age of employability is so much available in India, because that report I was mentioning from UNICEF, 56% of the employable workforce, they are under 30. But the point is, can they be employed? Okay, anyone wants to ask a question? Someone raised a hand. Okay, fine. If you just have the question, I'm going to finish. I'm going to wrap up within, say, another 15-20 minutes. Then, yes, I'm open for all your observation. And of course, we can have a very mutual chat and mutual discussion on this. So, yes, as I was talking, that the other options that we can find. Another option, very lucrative option after these government job is that is journalism. Now, journalism is proliferating now. And forget about those old age print media journalism. Newspapers are going to be obsolete, say, in next 5-7 years. Okay, in next 5-7 years, the newspapers are going to be obsolete. Newspapers are going to be obsolete, and nobody is going to read the newspaper. The papers will be transformed into e-papers, and there the number of editors will be needed more. Okay, that the number of editors that a newspaper like say Navbharat Times or maybe Hindu, if the number of editors they need now, that number will become twice or thrice in number. Okay, that number will become twice and thrice in number once those newspaper they just disregard their print medium and they come into the e-format. Those e-papers, they will need more manpower. That means why they need more manpower? Because there will be various news, and they need to sort them out. They need to make it newsworthy to be put inside that e-paper and all that. So there will be a greater need of those people who have a good command over the English, because they know that what kind of English these social media crazy generation wants. That means the kind of English, say, the English which was known as the Victorian English, say 1890s kind of a very stylized, very classical English. Nowadays, those kind of English people will say, "Rehne de, utna Angrezi kaun padhega abhi." Now the fact is that it's very true. It's very true that the time for such kind of English have gone past. Now it's better. We must know that Dr. Samuel Johnson has called that. If you are familiar with Samuel Johnson's phraseology and coining of words, and he said that there are two different things: Johnsonese and journalese. Okay, that journalese is kind of a making English English more user friendly, that I might say. Okay, not using the jargons, not using the heavy sounding words, not using the rhetorical devices and all that. Making English simpler, making English easily conceivable, easily comprehensible for all the people that are going to read their papers. Now, that is something that you can look forward to when you complete your graduation, or maybe you are completing your masters. I have already talked about the content developer and all that. Now, there are ad agencies. The ad agencies are always in need of copy editors. Okay, because in ad agencies too, there is, I'm not talking about the ad developers or maybe the big marketing professionals in various very well-known ad agencies. There are small ad agencies too. Those ad agencies always need to survey the market. Okay, the product which they are going to make advertisements for, they must know that if the society or if the place where the market is, or rather say where the commodity or where the thing which is going to be marketed, they are going to place. So they must know about that market. So in ad agencies, there is a greater need for the researchers. And those researchers must prepare their reports in English so that they can be evaluated by the professionals who are sitting in the ad marketing agencies. Now, who is going to prepare a good report on English? Of course, you need to have your command over English. Inside the interview room, if you just falling for words, if you just fumble for words, if you're just looking for you know that thing, whatever the question is being asked to you, whatever the interviewer wants to ask from you, you know the answer. But the problem is that the pain is that how much painful is that I know the answer, but I cannot rephrase it, I cannot express it in English. That becomes the question. And there comes the class of a soft skill trainer. If you know the language, you also can enroll yourself as a soft skill trainer and you can have your own YouTube channel. You don't need to get a job. You can get well paid. And this soft skill trainer or this soft skill developing thing,
Yes, sir. You please continue.
Okay. So soft skill trainer or soft skill developer, that is something, that a kind of a job opening that you can look forward to. Here, the soft skill always means how you can better communicate. The communication is always the key. Always remember, the communication is always the key. Okay, then there is another opening for you in marketing professionals, and then there is HR, human resource, and there is something very obsolete and very unique kind of a thing. If you have a very good if you grow, rather not always that, if you grow a good grasp over English, you can always look for library science. Now this is something, the library science, this is something which is not oft related, which is not oft spoken when we are talking about the career option. Now, library science, don't take it as a boring thing or something like that. Library science can be very exciting. You need to know cataloging, you need to know indexing, you need to know how the research is done in library. And one thing, libraries are not only for the state funded kind of, or maybe centrally funded kind of thing. Libraries can also, you can get libraries in the bar associations, that means the courts, inside the courts. You can also have libraries in private institutions. You can also have libraries in corporate houses. Even they have their good stock of books, they need to keep it, because time and time again they need to feature references out of that library. So that's a very good opportunity, because if you are going to study for library science after this, you will find your job openings both in the corporate sector, both in the private sector, and as well as you can also get a chance in the government sectors. So this is one career opportunity that you may look forward to if you want to. But yeah, library science is something that we not talk much about, but this is also going to be a fast growing sector, because once these online and maybe these virtual classes and virtual platforms of learning, they come into existence, there will be a need, a constant supply of e-materials, constant supply of PDFs, constant supply of those formatted books, that maybe your Kindle versions. Okay, and who is going to provide them? A good librarian. And also the librarian must have the good command over English, because indexing, paraphrasing, or maybe cataloging, They always come in that language, and you need to know that language. Now, these are a few of the job opportunities that you can look forward to after your graduation and all that. And now I'm coming to the third and my last part of my presentation today, and that is how to overcome the fear of speaking or expressing my views in English. Now, first of the thing, the first of the, we may say, the hindrance, or maybe say the first hurdle, maybe the first difficulty that we face during when we speak in English. I am expressing my views in English too. The first hurdle that we face is that I have already mentioned it, the search for the words. Don't look for bigger words. Don't look for decorative words. Don't ever look for rhetorical words. Stick to the basic words. Okay. You know, say you know 1,000 words. Maybe your vocabulary comprises of 100, 1,500 words, 1,500 words. Okay, stick to it. Stick to it. You don't need to know. You need to know all those, what we say, bombastic words. We don't need to know the words that we fail to understand. What did he say? Say, for example, surprise. It's a very common word. We always use that. Surprise means when we feel strange about something, we say that we are surprised. We are now surprise. There is another synonym for surprise is flabbergasted. I am surprised. Someone can say I am flabbergasted. We don't need to know what flabbergasted means, because that's a word which is used by the learned people. I want a job. I want a basic job, and for that, I don't need to know flabbergast. I need to know my surprise. That is the difference. That is the difference, my dear students, that I am trying to make a point in here. Okay. Vocabulary, creating a vocabulary, growing a vocabulary is very good. Okay, it is needed. But the thing is that when you are trying to grow a vocabulary, just remember one thing: you don't have to incorporate, you don't have to always push for those very high sounding or bombastic words. That is not needed. Okay. Secondly, it helps too much, but people might think you satiya gaya hai. People might think you that you are crazy, but it helps. If you want to improve your speaking skills, if you want to help your spoken skills, try to speak to your reflection standing in front of a mirror. It helps. It really helps. But the people in your house, or maybe your friends, they might think you that you are crazy. You have gone crazy. You have gone mad. But it's not. It actually helps, because you know why? Because sometimes it's our difficulty to express. We feel very shy. We feel very shy to open up before strangers. We feel always very shy. It's very shy that what you will think of me if my English is not that good, if I'm not speaking in very smooth tongue, if my English is not that eloquent, what he or she might be thinking of me, and will that be very good for my image or all that. So these things, these kind of very backstabbing moments, or you may say these, or when the moments when we feel very shy, these moments come back to us. Even they come back to me too. But the thing is that this is quite natural. This is quite usual to come over that fear, to overcome that particular shyness, that particular we may say that this particular inability to express yourself in English. You can try to pose in front of a mirror, and you can just rehearse those lines with your own reflection. Just try it for first 1 or 2 weeks. You will find that you are not feeling that much shyness before opening up in front of a stranger. Yeah, it will not help you to speak very fluently in English from the very first day, but it will help you to overcome your shyness. It will help you to overcome your anxiety that I cannot speak. And as I've told you already, that most of us come from a background where the English is treated as our second language. Even for me, Okay, so there, this overcoming of this situation, overcoming of this anxiety is more needed, is more practiced, is needed to be more practiced than the other tools of learning this language. Because we have come this far. You are you are here to for your graduation and all that. It's not that you don't know your English. You know your English, but you are nervous enough to express it properly. And if you overcome that fear, my dear students, you are going to fare better in your interviews. We are talking about, writing is not a problem for us, the Indians. Even some of us, we even write better English than the Britishers. If you do not believe it, just imagine most of the writers who are now writing novels in English, they are from India. They are from Indian origin, or they are from the subcontinent of India. Even they are more popular than the original British writers. So writing is never a problem for us. The problem for us is the listening, to understand, because even now, whenever we are watching any Hollywood movie, we watch it with subtitles, because we always think that if we do not watch it without subtitles, we won't be able to understand, because whatever they are speaking, their English doesn't comprehend to our ears. It's not true. At first, start to watch those movies with subtitles, and gradually try not to depend on subtitles. That will help you out. And of course, reading newspaper on a daily basis, it helps. Whatever your parents have taught you, whenever your parents have taught you that English newspaper padha karo, ye aage jaake tumko madad karega, they told you the correct one. Yes, that's very true. That's very correct. Reading your English newspaper daily will help you. Reading those Facebook newsfeed scrolls, they won't help you to better your English, but this will help you to improve your English. Okay, now this is this much that I wanted to tell it to you, and yes, I'm now open for discussion and questions, and I hope I haven't bored you to death. And since yes, Vinod sir, over to you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Now it's time for a question and answer session. I request Priyanka Mali and Patriama Mane to begin with the session. Over to you both.
Thank you, Darshana. Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful and informative session. So can we start with the questions?
Yes, go ahead.
Our first question is, why English is very important for any job in recent times?
Okay. Now see why English is important for any job in recent times. It's not only important in recent times. Okay. Since we were a colony by the British, so learning their language, learning the master's language has always been important. Okay. Because if you don't know their term, if you don't know the language of your master is not going to put you in the prestigious job opportunity, in the prestigious positions. So English has always become our priority. Even I do not know, in my school days, we were being taught that in English and in mathematics, you have to do better in English and mathematics in your school life. Okay, all the other subjects, they can take a backseat. Okay, they are not so important. But you have to do better in English and in mathematics if you want to prosper in life. And that's how, from the very beginning of our education, from beginning of our school days, we have been taught that English is important. It's not only recent times, it has been such for, say, last 100 years, bro.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, how do you prioritize your task when you have multiple deadlines?
Okay. Now, multitasking is something that is not my expertise, first of all, because I myself is a very laid back person. And whenever I am said that I'm offered that you have to do so many things in a single time, I just say that I'm not home. I'm not home. I'm not available. Okay. So this is not my expertise, but I will tell you one thing. Prioritize whenever you are doing multitasking. prioritize it with how much time do you need to complete one single task. Say, for example, you are writing a paper, you are sitting for an examination in 7 days, and there is an invitation awaiting for you from your relative's house. Now, the thing is that you have to do all these three things. You cannot just put away your paper, or you can just postpone your examination, or you can just say to your relative, get married sometime else. I'm not going to come to your marriage. You cannot say them to here. So what can you do? You know that marriage is least important in this, because I have to do my exam. Okay, I have to sit for my exam. So you have to think that whichever in present condition, when you are multitasking, whichever in your present condition is least important, and keep the least amount of time for that least important job. And you must know that these other two things, that you have to sit for the exam and you have to write for the paper, you know that examination needs preparation. So if you have 7 days, you know that 4 days I need to study. Only then I can sit for my internal exam or something like that. And with the help of the 2 days, I can write a paper, say, of 1,500 words or something like that. So you must know that how much time you need. There is a question that always I face during my teaching in my college. They say that, sir, this is a 15 marks question. How much do I write? How many pages do I write? And I say that, see, with my speed, if I am given a 15 marks question, I can barely write 5 to 6 pages, because I am old. Okay. And my handwriting is not of your speed. I'm not used to write that fast. So I can write only 5 pages. But you are young, you can write 10 pages. So it depends on your competence level, that how much time you need to finish a job. Okay. And according to that, plan your multitask. That is my answer.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, please tell us what employers should do in their free time, how they will utilize it.
Okay, that's a very good question. First of all, I would say that if you want to enhance your English skills, because we are talking about English, first of all, read anything that is available. Okay, and read anything that is available. I have already told you, reading Facebook is not reading a book. Okay, so reading newsfeed in Facebook is not reading a book. So you must know that you have a well-equipped library, I guess, in your college, and there are various books available. Take anyone. The thing is that in our generation, we are gradually losing habit in reading. Nobody wants to read. That is the problem. Okay, that means whenever we are giving someone that, sir, someone something to read, they just say that, is there any web series available on that topic? Is there any film available on that topic? We will just go and watch it. We don't want to read that book. This is not done. This is not done. Just for this, clarify this point. If you are a fan of Harry Potter, okay, reading the Harry Potter books are not same with watching the Harry Potter movies. Those who are very ardent fan of Harry Potter, they know that reading those books, they're very interesting. They're very exciting. And watching those movies, they say, no, they have expelled those scenes. They have left out all those scenes. And this is the difference between reading and watching. Okay. So you have to go back to your habits of reading, the old habit of reading, robust reading, as we call it.
Thank you, sir. Do you think speaking English in Indian accent has less value for getting job?
Can you repeat it? I just didn't get the question. Okay, just repeat the question.
Yeah. Do you think speaking English in Indian accent?
You muted yourself. You muted yourself. Yeah.
Do you think speaking English in Indian accent has less value for getting job?
Okay. Now I have already answered it. Do you think the question to this my answer to this question is another question? Do you think Sunil Gavaskar gets less paid than David Lloyd when they are offered a contract? If you just go through the ESPN or the Star Sports, they won't show you their confidential files. They won't tell you that how much they pay. But if you go there, you will find that Sunil Gavaskar is paid much more than these English or maybe Australians. These Englishmen or the Australians. Speak in any accent. Speak in English accent, speak in Oxonian accent, speak in Caribbean accent. You have to remember just one thing, that you have to convey your listener whatever you have to say in a very smooth and undisturbed way. That is the basic of communication. You don't have to follow anyone's idea of how should the word should pronounce. You don't need to. You don't need to. Okay.
Thank you, sir. What will you advise to them who are not getting job because they are not familiar with English language?
Yeah, that is something which has become a very kind of a very, we may say that it's a very sad situation. It's very unfortunate that they, as I time and time again, I am just referring to that YouTube video as I was mentioning, that an engineer, okay, he's an engineer, he knows his skill, he's a very good engineer, but he cannot get his job because he doesn't know very good English. Now the thing is that, see, we cannot change the scenario here. It is the need of the time. It is the need of the hour that you should know. As I have already told you, you don't have to know good English. You have to know English in a good condition. Good English means, that means you do not have to know how an graduate from the Oxford University speaks English. You don't have to speak English like him or her. What you have to know, what you have to do is that whatever you need to tell, whatever you need to express, can you express it in basic, simple English? That is the need of the hour. That is what we are going to tell you. That is what we are going to instruct you.
Thank you, sir. Are there any short solution to master in English?
Okay. See, the one thing is that, as they say, that once again, I'm going back to Swami Vivekananda. He said that with whatever, it's something like that, that cunning. Okay, that means cunning or making very sleek strategies, they won't get you to your desired goal. That means you have to work hard. Okay. And you have to work hard to master your English. Yeah, there are some, if you want to know shortcuts, that I will tell you that you have, as I have told you, that if you want to watch the Hollywood movies, watch them without the subtitles. If just say the next Avenger movie you all are going to watch in PVR, maybe, okay. The next, say, Doctor Strange movie, the Multiverse of Madness, if you are going to watch that movie, okay. Now watch that without the subtitle and try to understand the plot. Try to not to say that ye kya ho raha hai, ye kya bol raha hai. No, not that. Try to understand that whatever the characters are saying and whatever the characters are speaking in that language, that will help you. Okay.
Thank you, sir, for this interactive question and answer session and enlightening us with your knowledge. Thank you so much, sir. Over to you,
Yeah.
Darshana.
Thank you so much, Priyanka and Patriama, for such a wonderful question answer session. Now it's time for a vote of thanks, and I request Ms. Ritika Nisha to propose a vote of thanks.
It's my pleasure to propose a vote of thanks for a student-led national webinar titled Importance of English for Employability Skills. I am thankful to our college management, Director Dr. S. Pramodhavani, Principal Dr. Asha Menon, all the vice principals, and all the coordinators of our college for giving an opportunity to organize this webinar. My thanks are due to the teaching and non-teaching fraternity to our college for supporting this event. Special thanks to today's resource person, Mr. Subhaji Singha. Sir has literally covered language translations, pronunciations, vocabulary, and ways to enhance English, and ways to enhance employability skills, online courses, and etc. I'm thankful to the entire Department of English of college, including the HOD, Dr. Manju Prabha, Ms. Vageshwari Gore, Dr. Sachin Bombe, Dr. Vinod Salte, Dr. Savita Chavan, Dr. Shivaji Mehte for the success of this webinar. I especially thank Ms. Hashmi and all the technical assistants. Last but not the least, I'm thankful to dear audience for attending and responding patiently. Everyone, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ritika. Now, all are requested to fill the feedback form and all of you will receive a certificate within the working 7 days. Thank you so much, sir.
So the
Thank you.
webinar is ended here. Thank you,